Meantime, as we told you earlier, of course, a suspected gunman now charged with federal gun crimes in what the FBI is calling a second assassination attempt against the former president. Ryan Routh appeared in court today in South Florida as he pointed an AK-47 through a fence where Trump was playing golf at his course in Palm Beach. Joining us now here on the Hill, Republican Congressman from the state of Idaho, Russ Fulcher. Congressman joins us live, I believe, for the first time here on the Hill. Thanks for being with us, sir.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on today.
You got it. We're learning a lot now, Congressman. Let's start with the events down in South Florida about this individual who pointed a gun through the fence. The Secret Service at that point fired shots, and now we know the Secret Service basically says that they were ahead of Donald Trump and were able to thwart what happened there on the golf course. There's a debate now seemingly taking place in Washington about what to do next with the Secret Service, whether this is about manpower, funding, or something else. Where are you?
Well, first of all, who would have thought the biggest potential deciding factor for this election is keeping Donald Trump alive? Typically in an election cycle, we're worried about policies, voter turnout, and those types of things. But right now, it's just simply keeping Donald Trump alive. So thankfully, there was a Secret Service agent who was doing his job and apparently saved the president's life, and that's wonderful. But overall, I have to tell you, the intelligence community in general has lost a lot of trust within Congress. They've earned a lot of that mistrust. If I'm President Trump and my objective is to stay alive, I want to look at a lot of different options, including possibly even private security to enhance some of these needs. But the intelligence community has not been forthright in their communication with Congress.
Let me talk to you about policies here for a second, Congressman, because the one that Donald Trump came out with last week is your idea. You introduced a bill of no tax on overtime. We know Donald Trump had been talking about no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security checks, but you were the one that came forward, which I'm thrilled to talk to you about, on this idea of no tax on overtime. Congressman, this would we've got $35 trillion in debt. Deficits, Donald Trump racked up nearly $1 trillion before COVID hit, and you know where it's gone since then. How is this a good idea, considering what we're facing with debts and deficits?
Well, it allows people to keep more money in their own pocket, the money that they earn. And we want to encourage work. For so long, we've had bad habits in this country where we've had government programs that basically enable people not to work, good, healthy people. And so by eliminating the federal tax, income tax on overtime pay, we're encouraging work. We're allowing people to keep more money in their pocket. They're going to take that money, they're going to invest it, they're going to spend it, they're going to put it back in the economy, and they're going to do it more efficiently than some government program. And so I'm delighted that President Trump has jumped on board.
But you know, Congressman, we learned today that for the first time, our interest payments on the debt topped $1 trillion. Okay, that is 12 zeros. We looked into, for example, to try to put into context what $1 trillion is. You could buy Walmart with $1 trillion and have a lot of money left over. You could buy Walmart and Pepsi and still have money left over. Heck, the Kansas City Chiefs, the back-to-back Super Bowl champs, I mean, that $4.85 billion they're worth, that's a rounding error on interest payments on the debt. This is unsustainable. So if you're not going to take in taxes on overtime, on tips, on Social Security, where does it end?
Well, by doing this, it's one step, one out of a number that are necessary to deal with that debt. In order to deal with the debt, you've got to do two things. You've got to limit your spending, because that's what is at the root of the inflation. You've got to limit your spending. You also have to hyper-start the economy. And by eliminating overtime federal income tax, that's just one small step on the growing the economy front. We want to encourage people to work. We're going to have to get domestic energy policy restarted again in this country.
How is it conservative, though? Because Congressman, you know that this would just increase debts and deficits. How's that conservative?
Well, it's not going to increase debts and deficits. It's because it's going to put more money back in the economy, because that's where people are going to spend and invest. Is if they have it, they're going to put it right back in. It's going to grow the economy with a positive impact.
Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.